Some remarkable species are in danger of going extinct in the middle of our planet's oceans and forests. They truly protect their environments. They are more than just wildlife. Each of these is essential to maintaining natural balance and biodiversity. These guardians of the forest need to be protected not only for their own sake, but also for the Earth's overall health. Right now, the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, or IUCN, classifies nearly 4,000 species as critically endangered. That means they face severe threats that could soon drive them to extinction in the wild. Today, let's look at 5 examples of the planet's endangered animals. Number 1. Rhinos. Of the 5 rhino species, 3, the black, Sumatran, and Javan rhinos, are classified as critically endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. This status, the most severe before extinction, means these rhinos face an extremely high risk of disappearing from the wild. The IUCN Red List evaluates species based on factors like population size, trends, and habitat loss to determine their threat level. The black rhino population, found in 9 African countries, has dropped by over 80% in recent generations, with around 5,000 remaining. The situation for the Sumatran and Javan rhinos is even more critical. Fewer than 100 Sumatran rhinos remain, with each group containing fewer than 50 mature individuals, making it nearly impossible for populations to grow without significant intervention. The Javan rhino population is also perilously low, with just 63 to 67 individuals left, all in one location, and no Javan rhinos in captivity anywhere in the world. While African rhino poaching is well known, it's important not to overlook the Sumatran and Javan rhinos. These Asian rhinos, although less talked about, are in equally urgent need of conservation, as their numbers are far smaller than even the most endangered African rhino species. Raising awareness and support for these under-the-radar rhinos is essential to prevent their extinction. Number 2. Orangutans. The Borneo and Sumatra jungles are home to the critically endangered orangutan species. Because of the pet trade, unlawful poaching, and deforestation, their numbers have significantly decreased. Their survival is seriously threatened by habitat destruction, which is mostly brought on by the growth of palm oil plantations and directly damages the forests that orangutans rely on for food and refuge. Orangutans are thus losing their homes and becoming more isolated, which hinders their capacity to locate partners and procreate. With less than 14,000 remaining, the Sumatran orangutan is the most endangered of the 3 subspecies of orangutans. With only about 55,000 left, the situation for Bornean orangutans is similarly dire. The conservation efforts aimed at saving orangutans include forest restoration, wildlife protection, and efforts to reduce the illegal palm oil trade. However, despite these efforts, much more needs to be done to ensure the survival of these incredible creatures and the preservation of their habitats. Number 3. Gorillas. Mountain gorillas are among the largest and strongest primates, but they are also known for their gentle nature. These social and peaceful creatures live in groups called troops, led by a dominant silverback male. The silverback's role is to protect the group and maintain order, often using chest-pounding and displays to intimidate threats or rivals. Mountain gorillas are highly intelligent and share 98.3% of their genetic code with humans, which is why they exhibit human-like emotions such as grief, playfulness, and even laughter. Mountain gorillas are primarily herbivores, feeding on bamboo shoots, leaves, stems, fruit, bark, and even rotting wood. Through their diet and behaviors, they help maintain their ecosystem by spreading seeds and promoting plant growth. They play a key role in their habitat's biodiversity, benefiting smaller animals and plants in the process. These gorillas are found in the high-altitude forests of East Central Africa, specifically in Rwanda, Uganda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. They are classified as endangered, but conservation efforts have led to a population increase, and they are the only great ape species with a growing population. The mountain gorilla's scientific name is Gorilla barangay, and their habitat spans several national parks, including Volcanoes National Park, Magahinga Gorilla National Park, and Virunga National Park. mountain gorillas sleep in nests made of foliage, and younger members may nest in trees, while adults stay in grass nests on the ground. Despite their large size and strength, their future is still uncertain, and continued conservation efforts are necessary to protect them. Number 4. African forest elephants. 2 different species of African elephants are now recognized. The African savanna elephant is listed as endangered, and the African forest elephant is listed as critically endangered. Due to continued habitat loss and ivory poaching, both species have experienced sharp population decreases. The population of the African savanna elephant has decreased by at least 60% in the last 50 years, whilst the African forest elephant has suffered a startling 86% decline in the last 31 years. In spite of these concerning patterns, some areas have stabilized as a result of initiatives to stop poaching and protect elephant habitats. For instance, savanna elephants in the Kavango-Zambezi Transfrontier Conservation Area are seeing population expansion, whereas forest elephant numbers in Gabon have begun to recover. However, these successes are not enough to overcome the persistent threats both species face. The high demand for ivory and continued habitat conversion for agriculture and human settlements make it crucial for global conservation efforts to be intensified. If these challenges aren't addressed, both species may continue their downward spiral toward extinction. Number 5. Saolas. The Saola, a critically endangered species, faces severe threats primarily from hunting, specifically commercial poaching. Unlike many other endangered species in Southeast Asia, the Saola is not directly targeted for the wildlife trade due to its lack of significance in traditional medicine or bushmeat markets. However, it is often killed incidentally in snares set by poachers, which are a major threat to its survival. Despite efforts by the Saola Working Group and local patrol teams who have removed over 130,000 snares from Saola's range, the species still faces ongoing poaching and habitat challenges. The Saola population is fragmented into small subpopulations, which makes them vulnerable to genetic issues such as inbreeding, skewed sex ratios, and the difficulty of finding mates. Even if hunting were halted immediately, current subpopulations are predicted to face extinction in the next 10 to 15 years due to their small size and isolation. Additionally, Saola suffers from a lack of sufficient conservation resources and attention from local governments and the international community. Despite these challenges, the Saola has a few unique advantages for conservation. There is little demand for Saola in trade, and it does not compete with humans for resources, which has led to some local support for its conservation. Furthermore, the cooperative relationship between Laos and Vietnam provides an opportunity for cross-border conservation efforts. To further safeguard the species, the SWG has partnered with the European Association of Zoos and Aquaria to create a conservation breeding plan. This approach aims to integrate both in situ and ex situ efforts to protect the Saola, ensuring its survival and potential future reintroduction into the wild. Despite the uncertain future we face as we grapple with climate change and habitat loss, there is hope for endangered species. Thanks to policy and conservation efforts, there are many species that have made or are in the midst of making recoveries. The easiest way you can help protect endangered species is to learn more about them. Perhaps the greatest threat that faces many species is the widespread destruction of habitat. Scientists tell us the best way to protect endangered species is to protect the special places where they live. Wildlife must have places to find food and shelter and raise their young. Logging, oil and gas drilling, overgrazing, and development all result in habitat destruction. Endangered species habitats should be protected and these impacts minimized. By protecting habitat, entire communities of animals and plants can be protected together. Parks, wildlife refuges, and other open spaces should be protected near your community. Open space also provides us with great places to visit and enjoy. Support wildlife habitat and open space protection in your community. When you are buying a house, consider your impact on wildlife habitat. That is the end of this video. Let's meet again with another interesting video.